later age. So what's that say? It says that, these guys sometimes have to get injured, have to kind of go through some bumps, get used to the cadence, if you will, of Major League Baseball, the grind of Major League Baseball. You look at these guys. Charlie Morton's third. He's 8-0. Then you got Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo, guys, quietly having a good year. Cincinnati's not been great, but Luis Castillo is 6-1 with a 2.26 ERA. When he goes, he is damn near unstoppable. So, at 6-1 and a 2.26 ERA, he's having a great year. Giolito, 9-1, a 2.28 ERA. Verlander, 9-2. You got a nice little mix here of some guys who are new to the scene and some guys who are established and have been there. Okay, what's absent from this list, in my mind? Chris Sale. Chris Sale at 2-7. Max Scherzer. Some of these guys aren't on this list because of slow starts. Okay. I don't know what that means. Those two pitchers have certainly had good years. They've just had some bad luck. Sale, it seems, has turned it around. Scherzer's still trying to, but it's odd looking at these leader lists and not seeing these guys here. So who else is here in their place? How about Frankie Montas? 8-2 with a 2.84 ERA. Guys, this guy's having an all-star year. Okay? How about Yanni Chirinos? 7. I heard Arnie talk about Jalen Beeks. I'm a big Beeks fan. But Yanni Chirinos is the original Jalen Beeks. Excuse me. Yeah. Yanni Chirinos was the first one to do this, okay? And now he's graduated to a starter. That's important, folks. He pitched 8 innings of 2-hit ball last time out. That's impressive. So they're going to need him. Keep an eye on Chirinos. Chirinos is someone that needs to be owned. Actually, in my money league, I have Chirinos and Beeks both because wins are so vital, right? And both of those guys are going to be set up in leverage situations. So I don't see why you can't pick these guys up and play them. Yeah, they're not starting. Yeah, they're probably not going to get the strikeouts that your frontline stars are going to get. But fact of the matter is, if you slot them behind a strikeout artist, a guy like Garrett Cole or Max Scherzer or Chris Sale, they even out quite nicely, right? So just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. Both of those guys are valuable, okay? So, moving down the wins list. Barrios at 8 wins. Morton at 8 wins. Woodruff is having a great year at 8 wins. Buehler coming on 7 wins, okay? So, we've talked a little bit about ERA. We've talked about some wins. What about saves? Guys, there's a... How about Kirby Yates and his 23 saves, guys? He has 4 more saves. He has 4 more saves than the next closest guy, who's Brad Hand, Kenley Jansen, and Shane Green both all have 19. But here's a guy who could get traded. I mean, if they fall out, they could get some serious capital back for Kirby Yates. They're young already. Why not trade Yates and get a package from a team like the Red Sox or one of those teams that missed out on Kimbrel, the Braves? Why not? Okay? So 23 saves is impressive. Look for that to continue. San Diego's in a lot of close games. After those 3 at 19, Aroldis Chapman has 18, Osuna at 17, and Hader at 16. Okay? Felipe Vasquez at 15, and everybody's darling at the beginning of the year, mine included, Diaz for the Mets is at 14. Okay? Not great. 3.58 ERA. He's not doing great. So, did you spend a third-round pick on Elias Diaz? I don't think I did. I made a lot of mistakes. That wasn't one of them. So, again, we all knew this. Closers are volatile, So, I'll move on. How about strikeouts? Again, Garrett Cole at 130 strikeouts, folks. That's in points leagues and counting stats leagues. That's impressive. Scherzer at 126. Sale at 120. Strasburg and Verlander at 110. Guys, Matt Boyd has 105. Bauer, who was everybody's darling, has 103. And Robbie Ray has 101. Guys, that's it. 8 guys have 100 strikeouts to this point. Okay? So 130 is pretty impressive. That's 30% over a value of 100. So, that's dominant numbers, okay? And again, with whip, looks like there's 10 guys with a whip of 1.0 or under. Verlander, Ryu, Chirinos, Giolito, Greinke, Sale, Odorizzi, Buehler, Cole. These are all the guys under 1 as a whip. There's not a whole lot of them out there, okay? So that's where we stand. That's our breakdown of statistics for this week. I won't do this every week, but I'll try and do this every month or so. So with that, again, like I said, I have a change of format, so I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I keep my eye on time. I do want to talk about, though, this week, I kind of started to break down these conferences. And it's really interesting when you look at these stats. I've been kind of given just the dry, Tampa Bay, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that, okay? I want to talk more about the actualities of what's going on. So let's talk about division by division, and we'll get as far as we get, guys. But I think it's important to share this information because it helps you when you're matching, whether it's DFS, a weekly matchup, or what have you. It really helps when you understand what your teams are, that your players are playing for, and when you can kind of match up positives and positives, okay? So this week, because they were the beginning, I broke down the AL East. Pretty interesting division. I'm not going to talk about Toronto, and I'm not going to talk about Baltimore, at least not much. I'm interested in the players, okay? I'm interested because, like Arnie said, we want the players on the good teams. There's 3 good teams in the AL East, okay? Let's talk about them. Let's talk about Tampa Bay, let's talk about the Yankees, and let's talk about Boston, all right? So, I'm going to go backwards. Let's talk about the world champs first. Currently, they're 34-33. They are 8 games back of the division-leading Tampa Bay Rays. They have a winning percentage of .507. Boston's 15-16 at home, guys. They have a losing record at home. That to me was surprising. They're 19-17 on the road. Okay, so what are some stats of interest that come from looking at this? Well, first off, they mashed the crap out of the ball. They have scored 350 runs, which is the most in the division. Okay. But they've allowed 317 runs. Guys, that ain't good. They've allowed 107 more runs than Tampa and 47 more runs than the Yankees. If they want to compete, their pitching has to get better, okay? Now, we talked about Sale. We know he's coming on. I got some good stats about Sale coming up later. But the truth is, they need more than Chris Sale, okay? Chris Sale, on the season, like I said, is 2-7 with a 3.52 ERA and a 0.96 WHIP. He's got 120 strikeouts in just 84 innings pitched, 84.1. But since May 3rd, he is 2-2 with a 1.99 ERA, 0.72 WHIP, and 88 Ks to 54.1 innings pitched. Guys, do the math. He's striking out a ton of people since May 3rd, okay? Now, that's all fine and dandy. I got a few more stats I want to run at you about Chris Sale. We're all good big Chris Sale fans. We know how good he is. So, Chris Sale has 8 starts of 10 Ks or more this season. That's the most in baseball, okay? 8 starts already this year. It was also, the last start was also his 24th career game of 10 Ks and 0 earned runs. 24 times he's done that. That's a lot. Perspective. That put him passing Clayton Kershaw for 6th all time in that accomplishment. Again, that's 10 Ks and 0 earned runs. Okay? That's hard to do, right? So, again, all fine and dandy. We all know how good Chris Sale is. Let's talk about the rest of the Red Sox lineup. Excuse me, starting pitchers. The rest of the staff. I'm going to give you some numbers. David Price, I guess, pans out as their number 2. He's having a fairly good year. He's 4-2 with a 2.70 ERA, a 1.05 whip, and 69 Ks and 60 innings pitched. Guys, that's a serviceable number 2. You'll take that any day of the week, okay? Here's where we run into some problems. 3, 4, and 5 are concerning, okay? And this is going to be the difference whether the Red Sox can step up and make a run or whether they're going to fall too far behind from because these other 2 teams above them are excellent teams, okay? So let's talk about Rick Porcello at 4-6 and a 4.86 ERA, guys. That does not get the job done, okay? A 1.41 whip. I'm not going to do Ks and strikeouts. These guys, I don't care about that stuff because I wouldn't have them on my damn team anyway. Rick Porcello is a problem for the Red Sox, folks. So, I see him as being the odd man out in this rotation if he doesn't get his act together. Now, we all know Porcello can be a good pitcher, but he's not showing it this year. How about Edrod? How about Eduardo Rodriguez? 6-4, guys. Sounds okay, right? 5.00 ERA is not acceptable. 1.39 whip, 80 Ks and 72 innings pitched. Guys, it seems to me like this guy just can't get into that third time through the order without getting lit up. He is concerning. This Boston staff pivots on Eduardo Rodriguez and Nate Eovaldi. That's scary because those guys haven't shown that they're, 1, durable, and 2, reliable. So let's hedge our bets on the Red Sox until they start to prove that these guys can pitch or get reinforcements in. And I don't know how they're going to do that because they're salary cap taxed. Okay, they're strapped. So let's talk about some split stats. Okay, really interesting. Like I said, at this point of the year, you got a good enough sample size that you can talk about who matches lefties, who matches righties. I just found this pretty interesting. Guys, JD Martinez is a machine. Versus left-handed pitchers, versus lefties, JD's hitting .365 with 7 homers and 13 RBIs. 19 of 52. He has 52 at-bats. Anytime you see the Red Sox playing on a left-handed pitcher, you should go straight to your DFS lineup and put JD Martinez in there. It's automatic. 7 homers and 52 at-bats. Guys, that's like it's like every other game he's getting a homer. How about Christian Vasquez? Versus lefties, he's hitting .315. Wait, let's stop. First off, Christian Vasquez, in general, needs to be owned. He is flying under the radar in Boston and really is unappreciated. So versus lefties, again, that catcher spot's so hard to fill out in DFS, right? Christian Vasquez at .315 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs is someone, as soon as you see the left-handed bat, go and plug in Vasquez and go and plug in JD. Has to be automatic. Every time, right? And here's the next guy. Just one other guy from the left-handed side anyway. How about Xander? Xander Bogaerts hitting .279, but he's got 5 homers versus left-handed pitching. That's a pretty impressive feat. 11 RBIs, okay? So, that said, let's see who we got on the right-handed side. So versus right-handed pitchers, how about Rafa Devers? He's just having a great year all around, but he's hitting .309 versus righties. 7 home runs and 34 RBIs versus right-handed pitchers, okay? Xander shows back up at 293 with another